Had a nice break, did all those side quests, and now about ready to go back into this. Return to Sharlayan. It cost a buttload of money. There are side quests here now to do, but I will do those later. I just did a buttload of side quests. I will do more at another time. In the meantime, let us return to the Baldessian thingamajigger and do things. I will be hitting level 81 soonish. Okay. Wait, before I do this, I need to remember to do... change glamour plate link. Back to Shallan Scion default. Alright, Estinian. What are your thoughts? The conflict between Nidhogg and I is in the past, though they were brothers, it has no bearing on my view of Ritra. Above all else, he is a leader of men, not an enemy. He would hardly dedicate his life to this endeavor if he bore our kind any ill will. Ritra and his alchemists have prepared us for our foray into the tower. What we may accomplish within its twisted halls remaineth to be seen. The Archrosodara languish in Telephroi change, doth forewarn us of the nature of our foe. 'Tis the gods of Thavnair who will be summoned to thwart us. Just as I was getting used to balmy Thavnair, we're back to chilly Sharlayan. Take care not to catch your death, eh? We need you for the battles to come. Yes, I know, Thancred. It's freaking cold here, which is why I need to change my clothes as soon as I may. Now then, your investigation here remains, but when that's over, we can take stock of all the developments and discoveries. Hooray! Alright, and I talked to everybody before I started things, so they shouldn't have anything different to say. I will get shoes out of this. An unsettling change has come over Sharlayan, but together we will divine the underlying cause for the Forum's callousness. As I mentioned before, however, questioning the counselors directly is a fruitless endeavor. They seem to have already come to a consensus as to what and how little they are willing to divulge. Which is why I began scouring Sharlayan's archives of historical records for any hint of a connection to the final days. Suffice it to say, progress has been slow. There are only so many dusty pages one can skim in a day. But now that I have this band of willing reinforcements, the search should proceed all the swifter. Let us reconvene outside Nomenon, shall we? Exit the annex to the right, and you'll find the archives on the western edge of the woods. Okay. Take your little army with you. Alright, we'll go out, we will change clothes. We'll get to work on whatever this story has for us, and hopefully I'll get through this story today, so that tomorrow I'll be fresh and ready to tackle the first dungeon. If I'm lucky, I may even get to the first dungeon tonight, but considering how long Razatan took, and this will probably take about the same amount of time, probably not. We'll see. Let's see. There we go. Now I am all dressed officially. Look all nice and professional. Ah, somebody's side quest now. I will get to them later. When I have the mental fortitude. Thankfully, just doing the MSQ seems to be pacing me enough that I will be able to maintain levels, for now at least. Oh wait, we need to go this way. Alright. Awfully nice setup here. Hello, Kryle. My directions were easy enough to follow, I hope. In any case, you stand now before the doors of Numenon, Sharlayan's grandest collection of books and tomes. This building is actually only an entrance, and one of many at that, for the archives of Numenon extend deep beneath the surface like the roots of a tree. The vast halls of the Great Gubal Library pale in comparison to Numenon's endless maze of subterranean chambers. Any citizen of Sharlayan is free to enter and peruse its shelves. Well, most of its shelves. Only Archons are afforded access to certain restricted vaults. I've dispatched Y'shtola and Raha to investigate those. Meanwhile, Alice and Alphina will help me continue my search through the stacks open to the general public. Your status presents more of a problem. As a non-citizen, you are only permitted to browse the first floor here at the entrance. Even so, there should be a number of books which touch upon Sharlayan history or foreign policy. Your task will be to find and study the relevant publications. I promise you, a working knowledge of these subjects will make it far easier to spot the sort of clues we're looking for. Let us be about it, shall we? I've told the others to meet us at the stone benches over there once they've found some promising tomes. Happy reading! Now Shalyn feels jealous. Feels so jealous that her brother is able to go even into the restricted levels. She can't even move off the first floor. How sad. Look how far down it goes. Goodness. Okay, so it doesn't go up. That is an adjustment I will have to make to a thing. But seriously, so many books. So many books. No wonder Y'shtola managed to read all the books in the Crystarium. Time-worn tome. Faded title on the spine reads Stewards of Wisdom. Okay. During the chaos of the Sixth Umbral Calamity, Archon Nunkrips, founder of Sharlayan, bore witness to the madness and savagery of men brought to the brink of despair. Upon raising a settlement on an island in the northern Empty, he instructed his people thus: renounce the ways of war and pursue enlightenment through knowledge and reason. The Sharlayans took to heart the words of their savior and thenceforth served as stewards of wisdom. Upon a foundation of accumulated learning, they built a homeland unlike any other, a nation born from strength of minds rather than strength of arms. With knowledge of economics came shrewd trading. With knowledge of agriculture came bountiful crops. Engineering brought wells and sewers, ending squabbles over water. Wealth of expertise could be bartered for wealth and coin. And the more their wisdom spread throughout the world, the more mankind as a whole would thrive. And so it was that no matter the trials and tribulations of the age, the citizens of Sharlayan would live by their founders' teachings. For the sake of a better tomorrow, for the sake of a brighter star, they would eschew the tools of war and with knowledge deliver the world. Well, that kind of gives some idea of what they're expecting. There's so many books. It says I can only read 3. But I want more. I want to read them all. I want all the lore drops. Well-worn manual. Forever 20 summers. Okay. My beloved seekers of knowledge, have you ever put learning before your health and neglected to feed and rest your body as you should? I too once engaged in such foolish practices, but one night, engrossed in philosophical study, I had an epiphany. All the world's mysteries that drive us to reckless abandon, we have so few years of life in which to achieve our goals. Thus do I share with you this mantra: I am forever 20 summers young. The number itself is unimportant. You could be 19 or 23 or 40, whatever age you are when you discover this manual, let that be the age you aspire to remain. Through mindful, healthy living, will you extend the time available and to spend upon your chosen research. Another day, another moon, another summer to grasp the greater truths you pursue. In the pages that follow, we will explore the secrets of maintaining one's physical condition from a biological, aetherological, and arcane viewpoint. The book is on the wrong subject. Okay. But I like reading everything. Challenge is like, I thirst for knowledge. I want to sound as smart as my twin brother. I have not been educated like he has. Alright. Have you ever gazed at the skies above and contemplated the mysteries contained therein? I speak not of shifting cloud patterns, but of the vastness beyond, of the sun and the twinkling tapestry of the night. Some think the dome above us to be a finite space, yet amongst the leading thinkers of our age, one scholar's depiction of a boundless sea of stars has firmly taken root. Alas, this heavenly sea remains unreachable, an unreachable, unknowable destination. There are few indeed who can explain in satisfactory detail why our own star is believed to revolve around the sun. It is the technologists of Alag who came closest to understanding the laws which govern the starry abyss. It was they who launched Dalamud and sought to expand beyond our earthbound existence. Having read their ancient ambitions, I wonder, has your interest in this field of study waxed or waned? What if I were to tell you that the eternal constellations were arranged differently in the distant past? That their positions continue to shift almost imperceptibly but measurably as we journey into the future? Would it shock you to learn that the stars drift further and further apart, and may indeed do so forever? Are you eager to learn more? I want to read more! I want to read the entire book! I will come back for it. I will. Leatherbound book. The voice of a growing city. This sounds promising. In the years which followed the founding of Sharlayan, civic policy and other matters of import were decided at the Ecclesia, a public forum at which every citizen was eligible to speak. As the city's population grew, however, this format became increasingly impractical. A larger number of participants gave rise to an ever longer debates, resulting in significant delays of vital resolutions. Various measures were introduced in the attempt to curtail the protracted discussions, but in the year 201 of the 6th Astral Era, it was ultimately decreed that Sharlayan would transition to a new form of governance. The nation would now be led by a body of 99 members, citizens chosen from amongst their peers by means of a nationwide vote. Thus was the forum as we know it today conceived and created. Okay, interesting. A red-covered book. Roads of Old, the Colony. Story of Sharlayan. Alright, those are the last two we have. Alright. Many years ago, on the banks of the Thaliak in the Dravanian hinterlands, a Sharlayan colony once thrived. This settlement was originally established as a mere outpost to study the ethereal sea in the year 1311 of the 6th Astral Era. Scholars dispatched to Eorzea found the facilities wanting, and their demands encouraged the gradual expansion in structures and services. As rumors spread of a growing community of academics, the area was further inundated with Eorzean students hoping to share in the renowned wisdom of the Sharlayans. 50 years later, the Forum passed a motion to recognize what had become a flourishing town as an official Sharlayan colony. Eorzean residents took to calling this colony itself Sharlayan, which led to no small amount of confusions when discussions turned to the subject of the motherland. In response, some Sharlayan inhabitants, if pressed for a name, would simply refer to it as Emporium. Following the Great Exodus, however, goblins and treasure hunters claimed for themselves a corner of the abandoned colony and gave it yet another name, Idleshire. The following chapters go on to introduce the most prominent features of Idleshire. This book does not appear to contain additional information on the Forum or cover the history of the Sharlayan motherland in greater detail. Huh. I wonder who would have written this book, because it was only relatively recently that we discovered that the goblins and treasure hunters were there. So, fascinating. Alright, brightly colored book. Story of Sharlayan. Long, long ago, on an island in the northern sea, there lived a Rhodogan man by the name of Nyankrif. Youngcliff was a student of astrology, and he divined that a flood of terrifying proportions would soon sweep over the lands of Eorzea. So it was that he built a gigantic ship, assembled a crew, and set sail for that imperiled realm. The flood arrived, as we're told, and to their horror, the strangely churning waters drove the people toward the ocean. It was there, however, that Youngcliff's crew hauled them aboard his ark, but the danger had not passed. A towering wave approached, threatening to smash the vessel to pieces. With only moments to spare, Youngcliff wove a mighty spell of teleportation and shifted the entire ship to safety atop Abelathia's spine. Refugees from the surrounding regions huddled there alongside them, but it was not long before disputes over the dwindling supply of food led to violence and bloodshed. Saddened by the sight, Youngcliff gathered to him his crew and his grateful passengers, and abandoned the ark to those reddened peaks. Interesting. They journeyed to the coast, where they built a new ship, intent upon returning to the northern seas. They landed on the beach of an island and settled upon that very spot. That settlement prospered and grew, and in time it became the city of Sharlayan we live in to this day. You have gained a fundamental understanding of Sharlayan history and the foundation of the Forum. Head outside to the rendezvous point and wait for your companions. But I want to read more! Give me all the books from every floor. Just give me. It's not fair that I am not a citizen, so I can't see everything. Reference page. Mammoths. We apologize for the inconvenience, but the reference desk is currently experiencing an unusually high volume of requests. Please stand by until this issue is resolved. There's that many. It's got all these people because the servers are flooded and overloaded. Lols. I'm assisting my colleague in his hunt for research materials, specifically a thesis by Moonbury Da. But it's difficult to find any one tome in a library of this size. But, like, seriously, why can't I go further down? You can actually read what the people down there are saying. Like, I have very good ears to hear that guy mumbling to himself. Lots of people viewing cutscene here. Sorry, were you waiting long? I mean, there's only so much I can see. I wanted to make sure I had borrowed at least a few promising volumes. Alphina and Kryl should also be along shortly. I was delayed in similar fashion. As far as I can see, no titles in the Archon stacks mention the final day specifically, so we have no choice but to start with the tangentially relevant volumes, even if they are even that. At present, I plan to skim through as quickly as we dare. The plan is to skim through as quickly as we dare and share our discoveries as we make them. It would have been nice to invite everyone to the estate. Plenty of comfortable places to read and a supply of hot tea. Ready supply of hot tea. Oh, I was always quite fond of reading outside. But it's not about the little pleasures, is it? You miss your home. It's been difficult. After our arrival, we managed to speak with one of the family servants and ask how things are. It seems our dear father has instructed the staff that even if Alphino and I were to return to Sharlayan, we would not be allowed to across the threshold. A harsh measure indeed. I hope that our efforts to understand his position and that of the Forum will perhaps lead to a reconciliation. We'll mend this rift one day. I am certain of it. And what of you, Graha? Have you been to visit your family? Or do they not live here in the city? Oh boy, we're gonna learn. Oh boy. Ah, well, my situation is also somewhat complicated. I was raised in Sharlayan, yet, but I was born rather further away. Oh boy, what am I getting out of this? Ah, we're learning where he was born. Okay, this is interesting. Okay, southern reaches of Isilbard. In fact, for generations, my people have dwelt in Corvos, a coastal region opposite the island of Thavnair. The Elegants founded a city on that fertile land, and by ship brought in subjugated tribes of Makote to serve as laborers. Of course, massive earthquakes of the Fourth Umbral Calamity brought an end to the Empire's reign. When the Fifth Calamity froze the seas solid, many of the tribes still living in Corvos braved the journey back to Eorzea. My ancestors, however, chose to remain, that they might prevent the remnants of Elegant technology from being misused. Isn't Corvos under Garlean rule? Oh my gosh, everything is working! For the past 50 years, yes, some semblance of local culture remains, as is the case for most imperial provinces. But Garlean already renamed the region Locus Amonesis. When I was a boy, a nearby town came under the jurisdiction of an illustrious imperial family, the nobles of House Darnus. Oh, hey. Those people. Nailbone Darnus. Do not look so surprised, you know it's the truth, you know it, Shallan. House Darnus demonstrated a singular interest in elegant civilization, and so my tribe was forced to consider a plan of action. For some time already, the voices had been raised in favor of abandoning our ancient customs. After all, the elegant eye no longer passed to our eldest children as reliably as it once had. Fear of discovery eventually tipped the scales, and the decision was made to bury our ties to the knowledge and traditions of Alag. As the last child born with the elegant eye, I was given over to the custody of friends of the students of Baldessian, who had me registered as a Sharlayan citizen. I'd never even considered. Forgive me, it was an unkind question. Things actually work! It's actually very similar to what I had originally, said the background would be. Even Thancred was taken in by Archon Louis Sois, was he not? Stories of adopted waifs and rescued orphans are more common among Sharlayans than you might think. Yet regardless of our origins, we are all provided with equal opportunity to learn, and with sufficient perspective, we outsiders can even earn the vaunted title of Archon. This ear wiggles. This is exactly why I have such a love for this country, and why I wish it to remain a nation of which its citizens can be proud. Hear, hear. Another good reason to get the bottom of the Forum's stubbornness, aside from the trifling matter of our impending doom. Excuse us while we try to make some headway into these books, Shallan. More company should be arriving any moment now. I am actually, shocked. Legitimately. I am stunned that it's almost exactly the same as what I had already had in mind. I just now have an actual location. This is mind-blowing. Legitimately mind-blowing. Oh my gosh. It's just... Oh, it's so good. I cannot believe that this worked out that way. I am so happy that I predicted his backstory so well, and it matches up with what I have in mind for, how he and Shallan could be twins, and how they were separated, because there were Garleans there in Corvos, so they could have been going to a place, and that caused, havoc, and caused them to be separated. Oh my gosh, there are a few little tweaks I'd have to make, but it's still just, my brain, I am so happy with this. Excuse me while I just revel in this. It's just, yes. The theory that Shallan and G'raha are twins continues to hold. And now I can give her reason to, like, even more reasons why she hates coils because of Nail von Darnish, and she hates the Darnises. We've returned with our selections. Although I must say the pickings were quite slim indeed. Mistress Kryl has already flicked through every history book devoted to disasters, and more than a few of which barely made mention of them. As such, we will be looking into research papers on the Umbral calamities, as well as articles written by prominent forum members. Perhaps their knowledge of the final days comes from an unexpected source. Speaking of which, might I ask you a few questions related to the final days? I'm the only one here who didn't witness the events in Amarat firsthand, and I fear I may be overlooking critical details. Well, I can recount to you everything that happened, because I experienced it all. My thanks. Now, where to begin? My cat just turned off my computer. First things first, we'll kind of... Okay, a complete destabilization of creation magics. Yes, the unfolding catastrophe wrought havoc on all manner of life. The chaos extended to the ancients themselves, causing their powers of creation to spiral out of control. Fear and despair manifested in terrible, tangible fashion. Meteors raining from the sky, fire erupting from the ground, indescribable abominations prowling the streets. That more or less aligns with my understanding. If only the arts of creation had survived until the present day, we might have had something substantial to analyze. To the best of our knowledge, however, those techniques were not preserved or passed on. Yashtilla summarizes that the closest known magic is that of the summoning rituals promulgated by the Ascians. Was there aught else of note which heralded the approach of the final days? The entire star was engulfed in disaster all at once. They say it began with a keening sound from the land itself. Alphino, you can answer this one. I think it was there was a keening sound from the land itself. Ah yes, the Amaratanes spoke of it, didn't they? We never did hear the sound ourselves, of course, thrust as we were in the midst of the madness. But it seems that each and every one of the catastrophes was preceded by this ominous noise. Eventually it resounded all across the star, and not even Amarat was spared. So the ground was crying out, you say. To be considered the harbinger of doom, it must have been quite distinctive, and probably quite loud. I'll have to speak with one of Nomenon's mammoths, and ask after any books which make mention of such a sound. Last but not least, how would you describe how the ancients sought to quell this unprecedented calamity? What definitive action did they take? They summoned Zodiac, they summoned Zidolin, they knocked Talabot from the sky! I can sound so dumb. Lulz. They summoned Zodiac. Yes, with Elizabeth serving as his heart. So many gave themselves in sacrifice to bring him into being. We do not know exactly how Zodiac brought salvation to the star, only that by his godlike will were the laws of nature set aright. Then, once the balance was redressed, the ancients offered up a further sacrifice to heal the ravages of the final days. Lives sprouted anew, and it was these fledgling souls they intended to render unto Zodiac, a trade that would have allowed them to resurrect the shades of the loved ones absorbed by the primal. Or might have, had Vana and her fellows not manifested their opposition in the form of Hydaelyn. Thank you, both of you, for the detailed review. I feel much more confident now in my understanding of the events. With all that freshly in mind, it does make me wonder what the Telophoroi truly mean when they speak of bringing back the final days. We've seen what they're doing with those towers of theirs, is forcing people to summon primals some kind of catalyst. Are they attempting to mirror the conditions that caused by unstable creation magics? Simply using the final days as a figure of speech, a convenient metaphor for the scale of destruction they plan to unleash. But this is all just pointless conjecture at this stage. Let us return our attention to the forum, shall we? We should keep an eye out for Y'shtola, but 'tis time we began studying these research papers. It really is comforting to have all these dedicated assistants right on hand. Right then, enough chatting, more reading. There are others better suited to poring over old history books, so I thought I'd try my luck with more recent events. If I can find anything better to inform the forum's if I can find anything to better inform the forum's baffling behavior. What else do I know of Corvus? Precious little, I'm afraid. I've not returned since Master Garl first brought me here. Again, it just works out so well. I can tell you that that Corvosi rebels seek to slip the yoke of their imperial masters, though the fighting is far less fierce than I thought it once was. Oh, and they have carpets. Flying carpets! The legends are quite extraordinary! Shallan probably remembers even less of Corvus than he does because she ended up fleeing the place a lot earlier. Oh my gosh, this just... My mind is blown. My mind is legitimately blown that it just works so well. I really can hardly believe it. But now I know where he's from now. So now I know where Shallan was born. She was born in Corvus. And she and her mom fled to Thavnair. It just works so well. It's so good. Many forum members are also researchers or professors. If they know aught of the final days, then that knowledge might surface in their writing. That is my hope anyway. It's so good. It's so good. It just works so well and I'm so happy. Hello, Y'shtola. I'm the last, am I? Well, my extended search of the Archon stacks procured one or two possibly useful books, but I wouldn't get your hopes up. If you recall, Urianger learned of the source's reflections from the Garoon oracles. For its potential to cause panic and confusion, the tome was deemed apocrypha and sealed away in the Great Gobel Library. 'Tis even less likely that knowledge of the unsundered world, not to mention the horrors of the final days, would be left sitting on a shelf for any curious scholar to find. It stands to reason, then, that my colleagues, be they archons or counselors, should perforce be largely ignorant of the subject. Yet, when you confronted Master Fortuno with knowledge of the Telafroi and their machinations, he scoffed at the suggestion that they posed a threat. He seemed adamant that the Forum would know if the final days were truly upon us. Which only supports the conclusion that whatever privileged wisdom is guiding the Forum's behavior, it is being kept secret from the rest of the nation. Not that I mean to excuse myself from reading duty. Whether they contain the mention of final days or no, these books could yet hold something of value. You weren't thinking of leaving, were you? There's plenty of work for everyone. Huh? You're gonna force me to read? I mean, I love reading. It's just, this is very heavy stuff. I'm not used to reading this heavy stuff. Very dense books. You labor for what feels like an AIDS as Y'shtola's research assistant. That's the Y'shtola, the relationship with Y'shtola I know and love. Oh, I'm sorry, it's just so good. That's just so them. Let's see, y'all don't say anything new. I found not of interest so far. I think Y'shtola might be right about not getting our hopes up. You're efforts to gain Grahatia's attention go unnoticed. He appears to be lost in his reading. That's another thing I would totally imagine. And Shallan would start getting a little envious right now because, you know, he's so smart. So much smarter than her. She hates it. She loves him, but she's so jealous. She's just stretching. Look at all... 1 or 2. Shala, how many books did you bring? Thank you for your help, but I think I can manage the rest without your assistance. If I were you, I'd steal a few quiet moments for myself. Okay, Kryl. Oh dear, you look exhausted. But what about your studies? Were you able to find any books on the subjects I mentioned? A few. The day was well spent. Should you wish to read them again, a ma'am at the reference desk will point you in the right direction. For the moment, though, I suggest you take a well-deserved rest. We might be occupied with our research for quite some time. Hey, there's my level. Yay! Where did I get these, and what are they for? I don't even know. Well, I did find one paper focused on the world before the advent of the Fifth Umbral Calamity, but it reads more like a work of fanciful fiction than an actual academic supposition. He's still lost in his book. Let's go for a walk, Alice. Ready for a tea break, Shallan? I know I am. Honestly, my neck and shoulders are going to calcify if I don't stretch my legs and walk around for a bit. You know the last stand down at the harbor, don't you? Come meet me near the outside tables and I'll treat you to their coffee. It's quite good. Okay, I can't actually go for a walk with Alice, apparently. But yes, I do think we should go get some tea. And something other than Archon loaf. Shallan needs to get away from both the studying and harsh gaze of Y'shtola, who has been very, very adamant about Shallan's health ever since she first got pregnant. And she also needs to get away from being jealous of her brother at the moment. Oh, by the way, there's a blue quest here. Let's go do the blue quest real fast. I'm sure Alice can wait. What do you give me? Do my eyes deceive me, or are you Shallan Renage? That would be me. Well, as I live and breathe, it is you. Ha! I knew I'd be the first to track you down. Who's the guild ship top hunter now, huh? Wait, you have heard of guild ship hunts, yes? They're not so different from the hunts you're familiar with in Eorzea, as I understand. I wager they're rather more challenging, but an adventurer of your caliber would never turn down a challenge, would you? No, you would not. Pray speak with Northota at the Peristyle to register your interest at your earliest convenience. Okay, so this unlocks hunts. And while I'm at it, alright. Let's go find that other blue quest. It is... Ah, down there. Okay. Alright, let's do this quest to unlock hunts real fast. Ah, this is a really pretty sunrise. And Artha, come to place a bounty on an unruly beast. Nah, I'm gonna be a hunter, apparently. Stuffing things. By the scholar you're Shallan, I was half convinced I'd set the others an impossible task of asking them to find you. The Gleaner's Guild ship has been posting hunt bills, you see, in the hopes of that capable individuals would take up arms to lighten our ever-increasing load. Unfortunately, capable individuals remain a sticking point. Few hailing from our fair polis are willing to take up arms, let alone able to stand against the more fearsome specimens. You, however, have experience in the grit we need. When I heard you had arrived on our shores, it was music to my ears. You didn't work for free, of course. We've done our research, and the rewards we offer are as fine as any you'll find abroad. The currency we employ is a relic of times when Gleaner was a good deal less figurative, so you may find it somewhat eccentric, but it's as good as Gil here. Speaking of eccentric, it should be noted that the majority of our clients are scholars. You probably won't have heard of half the creatures they send you after, but it's best not to worry about that overmuch. Slay beasts, collect samples, try not to think of the long-term effects of touching said samples. Get paid, simple, no? That being said, I wouldn't dream of throwing you in the deep end just yet. Start you off with some junior marks so you can get your feet wet. Whee! Hey, at least this time someone recognizes our ability from the start. You can now do the hunts, wee stuff and things. Alright, at the end of this. That was a real pretty sunrise. Ooh! Ooh, it's so pretty out here right now. And there's the ferry back to Limsa. If I need to go back to Eorzea for whatever reason, go there for much cheaper than teleporting. Teleporting out here is expensive. Alright. Person I'm looking for is up here. This person should unlock the sightseeing spots. Beg pardon, good madam, I could scarce help but notice that sightseeing log on your person. You wouldn't happen to be that adventurer my niece wrote about, would you? Yes, I would. Aha, so it is you. Pleased to make your acquaintance. I am Babeth Ironheart, Millith's aunt and seasoned explorer. Be a dear and hand me that log of yours. Millith told me all about how she helped you embark on your explorations on your own, so it's only right that I share with you some wisdom of my own. Let's see here. I can't forget to mention that, and done. You should be all set, dear. I've jotted down everything I've heard about the most remarkable vistas the realm has to offer. Of course, a few notes I've shared are not more than rumors, some describing locales so fantastical that I can barely believe they exist. But as I always say, the true joy of exploration lies not in the destination, but in the journey. So go forth, dear, and see what sort of journey these hints take you on. That sightseeing log of yours won't fill itself, you know. Sightseeing log expanded! Hooray! Endwalker entries have been added. You can do stuff and things. Yay. It's so pretty out here. Too bad it's too bright for Sharlayan. Like, it's maybe not too bright yet, but could give it another in-game hour or two and she'll be wishing she was in the shade. She's got those giant nocturnal keeper eyes. It's nice to see Viera in the world. Wish there were more. Ooh. What do you have? Out of my way, NPC! What do you have on that's blue like that? I mean, I'm sure you dyed it, but... I'm curious. I am very curious. I see us naming dyed dragoon blue. Okay, that's a color. It's a very bright blue. I like it. Alrighty. Now, finally meeting up with Alice. There you are. As busy as ever, I see. How very Sharlayan that no gourmet cafe has sprung up to compete for its customers. Actually, this crowd gives me an idea. Before we place an order, why don't we ask a few questions and gauge the mood of the city? I'm interested to hear what the average citizen has to say about the Thalafroi. We might even learn something new. Worth a try, don't you think? Alice is now accompanying you. She's gonna follow. Yay! Follow me, Alice, as we talk to people. Someone here at the cafe should be willing to speak to us. Let's ask around. What is it? Can a man not enjoy a moment of private respite? If you're looking to share a table, then I respectfully request that you look elsewhere. You misunderstand, sir. We were simply wondering if you knew of the Thalafroi, these enemies of the peace that have promised the end of the world we hold so dear, and... Wait, you're that House Levier girl, aren't you? And this woman with you is obviously a foreigner. I'd heard you were disowned for helping outsiders indulge in their barbaric whims, and here you're giving truth to the rumor. I'll thank you to leave me be. I've naught to say to the likes of you. Well, I must apologize. 'Twas foolish of me to expect an ounce of civility from one so enlightened. Come, Shallan. Well, now we know that there are assholes here. Yay! Someone here at the cafe is... Okay. Ah, look at these Lalafell. Short little Lalafell. Ah. Hildoy, I guess. Yes, I don't believe I've had the pleasure. Pray excuse the interruption, but we were hoping you might share your thoughts on the Thalafroi and their unconscionable plans. My goodness, if it isn't the young Miss Levier. My apologies, but I work in the offices of the Forum, and if word reached Master Fortuneau that I was helping you... I see. We're sorry to have bothered you. Well, that, Dickon. Okay. This guy's name is Dickon. Well, the customers have been decidedly uncooperative. Maybe the staff would be more willing to answer our questions. Alice, I swear, if you make it to where we can't get our food, I am going to be most unhappy with you. Welcome, madam. What can I offer you today? Wait, is that Mistress Alice I see there? My word, how long has it been? Far too long. Meet Dickon, the owner of the Last Stand. I used to frequent his cafe on occasion, in between lessons at the studium. That seems like an age ago now. I remember hearing that you and Master Alphino had set sail for Eorzea, but then you never came back. Lately there's been gossip about your father disowning the pair of you. Is everything all right at home? It's complicated, and I hadn't expected complete strangers to be so familiar with our situation quite so quickly. Everyone has an opinion, it seems. Well, it is House Levier. No matter how discreet Master Fortuneau may have been, news of your family's doing never stays secret for long. Things being what they are, what brings you back to the city now of all times? We have questions, and only Sharlayan has answers. Tell me, Master Dickon, have you heard anything about an apocalypse called the Final Days? What, like the end of the world? Nothing like that, I'm afraid. And that's what you're here to find? Information on this apocalypse? Yes, whatever we can learn. Unfortunately, your patrons don't appear to be willing to speak to me. Wish there was more I could do to help. But maybe there is. You're a visitor to Sharlayan, aren't you? Yes, I am. Then few will know your face. We should be able to pass you off as a server with none the wiser. We just finished preparing a few orders. Strike up some friendly conversation while you're setting down the food, and you might get the answers you're looking for. Not a bad idea. I hate to ask, but what do you think? I can do it. After all, I did watch my mother do some cooking once upon a time. That's the spirit. Pay attention now, and I'll explain where each of these dishes needs to go. The tea set is for the chatty group sitting by water's edge. The omelet is for one of our regulars, a Highlander by the name of Gisla, sitting at a table with a friend of hers. Outside table with a friend of hers. Behind them, you should see a Makote gentleman. He ordered the oven-baked lobster. Got all that? If you're not sure, just ask and I'll explain again. Good luck. Okay, so I know the Makote guy has a lobster. That's what I know for certain. Alright. So Gisla wants something. I remember he... explain it to me again, dude. I forgot what... Wait. Gisla wants the omelet. Okay, so these people want the tea set. Tea set. Oh, my tea set. Lovely, thank you. The Talafahu? I'm sorry, I've never heard of them or their final days. My friends and I are somewhat uninformed when it comes to current events. Now, if you wanted to hear about ritual arcane practices of the Sixth World era, common or esoteric, I'd be happy to tuck your ear off. Also, just to make myself not stand out quite so much. Here, there we go. My feet are a bit cold, but other than that... Alright, you wanted the omelet. Ah, finally! 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's dig in, no time to waste. What? The Talafaroy? Oh yes, I remember seeing the name in the latest Gazette. That and some grand claim about the end of days. Same old senseless warmongering. When will these fools ever grow tired of spilling each other's blood? Best stay out of it, I say. The Forum made the right choice, and I fully support our decision to remain neutral. Well, that's not encouraging. At least someone's actually heard of it. Smitu Tia. Smitu. Okay, that's a name. Here, have your oven-baked lobster. At last, the oven-baked lobster is mine. You have no idea how long I've scrimped and saved and suffered to afford this heavenly dish. The final days? This is the first I've heard of it. Although that would explain why my friend has been rushed off his feet. It might be a busy time to be a gleaner. Huh? Gleaner? You don't know what a gleaner is? They're collectors of a sort. Travel the world procuring things we haven't got here in Sharlayan. Priceless books, unusual life specimens, and so forth. So named for those folks who trail after the reapers in the fields, picking up every grain which was missed. Aye, by all accounts, gleaning is the most meticulous and demanding profession. If these Talafaroy make good on their audacious threats, then many uncatalogued rarities could be lost forever. Why else would the gleaners be buzzing about it in such a frenzy? Watch the harbor and you'll see what I mean. They're carting loads in from the docks all day. It's never been this hectic before. Not like this. Interesting. Interesting. Well then. Now I can change back into my normal clothes. No longer have to be incognito. Any trouble with the customers? Were you able to get anyone talking? Interesting. They seem unaware of the final days, aside from whatever vague news the gazettes are printing. Even Dickon had nothing to offer, and he's the best source of gossip in the city. If the Foreign does have secret knowledge, then they've done an impressive job of ensuring no one whispers it in the wrong ear. In any case, thank you for playing the part so well. Here, have that cup of coffee I promised. But let's enjoy our drink somewhere else, shall we? Maybe behind the peristyle, where away from the gossips and their wagging tongues. Yes, this should do nicely. Out of the wind and out of sight. She's kicking her feet like a lalafell.
When our father disowned us, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It wasn't until much later that his words began to sink in, that I began to feel the weight of what it meant. Do you remember when the decision was made to come to Sharlayan? Grahas said that the Forum was determined to keep us in the dark, and that Father's venomous performance was part of that strategy, to keep us at arm's length. Perhaps it was. Father argued with Grandfather on many occasions, but never with such dismissive contempt. And when he demanded what justifies the sacrifices we make in war, I honestly didn't know what to say. Neither did Alpha know, I know, but never for one moment did I believe we had made the wrong choice. So all I could do was fume silently. It was only afterwards that I realized how childish I had been. How being stubborn and self-righteous must run in the family.
It really
If I could have
does.
just mustered a civil response, then things might have turned out differently.
There's those boxes of stuff from the Gleaners that the guy mentioned.
They must be ferrying goods to Labyrinthos.
Question mark?
A vast complex beneath the island. Sharlayan is famous for archiving knowledge from around the world. Well, that knowledge is not preserved exclusively in dusty tomes and desiccated samples. Our living library, comprised of all manner of flora and fauna, is housed and studied within that underground facility. Still, that did seem to be an unusually large shipment. When I lived here, it was rare to even see such cargo transported by boat. Wait! Didn't you hear something in the last stand about the Gleaners coming and going more than usual? Well, I think they're the ones we saw manning those boats. And Gleaners answer to the Forum. If the appearance of the Telophoroi prompted this sudden burst of activity, then Labyrinthos may hold a clue as to what the Forum is planning.
Good thinking, Alice. And have to wait for loading. Come on. Come on. Update. Look at these benches. I love these benches. Sorry, I very easily distracted, but I love those benches. We should tell the others what we've learned about the Gleaners. Go on ahead to the Numenon, and I'll join you in a moment. Master Dickon will want his cups back. Let's see. That's probably... yeah, that's the Lev meat, so that's for crafting. This is for further hunts when I level up more. So I need to go and return and speak with Kryl. Experience some frame issues. Whee! Yeah, it could be worse. Yestola. My loyal assistant returns. There's a lexicon on the first floor that I need you to... Ah, you found something, haven't you? Yes, yes. Where's Alice? I thought she was with you. Is that coffee I smell? Did I miss a tea break? Yes, you did, Raha. You 100% missed that tea break, and it's all your fault for being so engrossed. Welcome back, Sharlayan. Been for a walk and cleared your head, have you? Not exactly. We did some impromptu investigating and turned up information on the Gleaners. It makes sense. The Gleaners take their requests directly from institutions and bureaucrats, but as you say, they ultimately answer to the Forum. Oh, missed that line. Okay. Let us see what theory they can build from the facts. As Y'shtola observed earlier, the Numenon's archives appear to contain no information concerning the final days. Coupled with what Sharlayan and Alice learned at the Last Stand, we can be reasonably sure that most Sharlayans know nothing of that particular period of ancient history. Yet my father and his colleagues are not only familiar with the final days, but they are also somehow certain that the destruction being perpetrated by the Telafroi is wholly unlike these apocalyptic events. Moreover, the Forum claims to be so occupied by a duty of such pressing importance that they saw fit to unanimously deny Eorzea's request for aid. And now the Gleaners, official agents of the state, have been mobilized on an unprecedented scale. I do not think it a stretch to conclude that the Gleaners' activities are in service to the Forum's secretive ends. In which case, our next course of action seems obvious. We visit Labyrinthos and assess the situation for ourselves. If we are lucky, the Gleaners will be far more receptive to our questions. Anything would be better than burying my head in another dusty book. What should we expect down there? Oh, I would hate to spoil the surprise. As for myself, there are a few more subjects I would like to research. I may join you later, but feel free to leave behind your borrowed books and be on your way. I'll see to it that each is returned to its proper place. That would be a great help. Thank you, Raha. Come with me, brother! Let's head down the stairs over there, and I'll show you where the entrance is. But, Raha! Raha! Watch your step in Labyrinthos. It's rather more perilous than a simple storehouse, although it will likely make the experience all the more attractive to an adventurer like you. You know me well, brother. They didn't mention Graha's father's name, so I'm still going with the fact that his name was Ode. Ready? Labyrinthos is not too far from here, but you may find the path a bit disorienting. I'll take the lead, so stay close. Follow Alice and try not to fall behind. Why are we walking? Why do I have to follow you? I mean, I know I said I wanted to go for a walk with you earlier, but still. I wanted to go for a walk where you followed me, because that's easier. It is pleasant here amongst the trees. You call this a brisk walk? I'm not even a ninja and I walk faster than you. Now we run, try to keep up. Alright, why are we running? Keep to the path straight ahead. We'll cross the bridge. I do like how they're making use of like having the NPCs move around a lot, though. It's a nice change. Up here, okay. Oh, I found this place already because there is an aetheryte down there, I'm pretty sure. Actually, no, it was the Chocobo people. The Rostra, not far now. Here we are, through this door and down the stairs. You did remember to attune the shard back there, didn't you? It will make your life much easier if you need to come back in a hurry. Otherwise, we should keep moving. Yes, I've already attuned every Aethernet shard in this town. Alright, down the stairs. The labyrinth in descent. Do-do-do-do-do. Oh, everyone's already here. You didn't take a wrong turn into the rostra there, did you? I doubt the forum would take kindly to you barging into a private session. I might have done that a little earlier. I've not been to Labyrinthos in the longest time. Even as a student, my visits were few and far between. How did the forum learn of the final days, and how much do they know? And exactly how much do they know? Whew. More to the point, what do they intend to do about it? Hopefully, the answer to at least one of those questions lies below. We're all here now, yes? I've taken the liberty of securing permission for our group's descent. Right, everyone onto the lift and down we go. I'm surprised that you got me permission since I'm a foreigner, but okay. I'm in Labyrinthos instance too. And now we get Emmett Selk to talk to us about it.
Deep beneath the scholar's city shines a false sun within a fabricated sky. In any age exist those who consider the floor an extension of their bookshelves, and this vault's architects surely belonged to that special breed. If the stack grows too high, start a new one. If no room remains, then make more rooms. A simple solution at first, and then bit by bit, a profound transformation. Knowledge buried beneath knowledge, a growing, creeping labyrinth from which there is no escape.
He's talking so cryptic all the time. That is a bizarre-looking elevator. Too bright for my eyeballs.
Not what you expected. I must admit, the artifice is very convincing.
Do they make it nighttime here? Please say they make it nighttime here.
Sharlayan itself. The breeze you feel, the flowing waters you hear, all created by the hand of man.
The island is volcanic, you see, and once upon a time this great hollow must have been a reservoir for magma. It was discovered some 400 years ago, at which point it was repurposed as a storage facility for scrolls and samples and such. Renovations have continued, with nigh on no interruption to this day, with the lower levels still undergoing expansion.
Aren't those people gleaners?
Aye, judging by their dress. They are said to work alone as a rule, but 'twould seem that rule is being enthusiastically broken today. It may be as you suspected, but they are engaged in a task apart from the norm.
Let's spread out and get some answers then.
When are you two getting your new outfits? Kryl? Your echo bothering you, honey?
Did you call to me just now?
No, that was probably Heidelin.
No. How odd. I must be a bit dizzy from the descent.
No, it was probably Heidelin talking to you.
Fine, I'm sure. Let's get to work, shall we?
Just saying, it was probably Heidelin. Okay, it does seem to be changing time of day down here. Okay. Oh, it's cloudy. Sort of. It's not too terribly bright, and it's also evening, meaning, thankfully, Shallan's eyes will have a rest. Also, the music here is interesting. Dobbin, okay. You want to know what I'm doing? Hauling books and fauna. If it needs hauling, I haul it. Every decade or so, they take stock in Labyrinthos. You know, sort and tidy up the inventory. Never seen an operation like this before, though. They just did one a few summers ago, even. Then, with no warning at all, this mess gets dropped in our laps. Orders from on high, damned if I know the reason. Could be they're changing the layout, eh? Preparing for the next big expansion? Your exchange with Dobbin has taught you about taking stock in Labyrinthos. Okay. Tiev? Let me think. The Rhea seeds should be item 1058, cumin seeds 1059, Snurbbleberry 1060, or were they 1061? Ugh, my head feels like it's stuffed with mocha grass. Why more loads to take out than carry in? Why do all this at once and risk mixing it up? What if someone mistakes Kurthan carrots for Garalbanian carrots? What then? Your exchange with Tiev taught you about large shipments coming in and out of Labyrinthos. Erinville, are you a bunny boy? You are, in fact, a bunny boy. You're here to help or give me more headaches, because I don't have a lot... because you don't have the look of a gleaner, and I'm in no mood for idle chatter. One of my colleagues was so exhausted they took a tumble and crashed into a pile of crates. Now I have a pack of marmots running loose. Your exchange with Erinville has taught you about exhausted gleaners. Okay then. Harsh work conditions, and they don't seem to know why. Ooh, lookout point. Also, Y'shtola. Let's see. Nay, I'm not shirking from my duties. I've not been down here in an age, and I wished to get my bearings before I went bumbling about. From what I can see, however, there is not obviously out of place. It seems we shall have to resort to discreet inquiries as usual. Wow. This place is large. Okay, the sun does go out. Nice. Good to know. Good to know. I'd still like to know how exactly it's supposed to rain down here. Are Alphino and Alice hiding around here somewhere? There's Alphino. Excuse me, are you a gleaner? If you don't mind, I have some questions to ask. If I were an Alice, where would I be? there she is. Fascinating, but can we go back to what you were saying earlier? Okay, there they all are. Their mammoths just look so interesting down here. For some reason they felt the need to give them hair. Any luck, Shallan? What tales did the Gleaners have to tell? Doop-a-doop-a-doop. So this grand operation began without warning, and for every item they bring in, they're sending more inventory somewhere else. That would explain the haggard faces I've been seeing. We were right. The Forum is definitely up to something. They're turning Labyrinthos upside down in the process. We would do well to learn more of what specifically the Gleaners are being tasked to do, as well as who has tasked them to do it. If you're game, Shallan, I have an idea. Didn't one of the Gleaners you questioned say something about escaped marmots? Perhaps if she were to help him capture said creatures, he might be inclined toward a more friendly and enlightening conversation. Alright, will do. In the meantime, I'll turn my charms upon this Gleaner here. We can compare notes afterward. Happy hunting! Alrighty, let's capture marmots for our bunny boyfriend over here. Erenville. You wish to help me find the marmots? I have nothing suitable to pay you for your services, but if you're offering out the goodness of your heart, I'd welcome the assistance. My name is Erenville, friend, specialist in the collection of live specimens. That said, the capture of these Naxian armuts is a trial I've no desire to repeat. Grizzled mice, they call them. For a mercy, there are no other marmot species on this tier at present, so there should be no mistaking our little fugitives. If you should happen to catch any, stuff them in this sack. Gently, of course. Where to begin, you wonder? I've not seen any scampering around here, so we'll need to widen our search into the surrounding forest. Be on your guard. There are beasts out there that won't hesitate to prey on a marmot or you. Alright, will do. I'll search the trees to the west. The eastern part of the forest is all yours. Good luck. East. Do 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 do. Gonna look for marmots and also look for aether currents while we're at it. That is honestly concerning. 249 yalms east. Troll. Where did you find a troll? And why does it... Those are very weird looking trolls. Northeast. Lots of trolls. Goodness, how many trolls did you people gather? It's probably up, isn't it? Thankfully, there seems to be a path. There it is. Surrounded by trolls. The weirdest looking trolls I have ever seen. Passed right between them, they didn't notice. Alright, south. I seem to have found the edge of my map. Oh, there's an aetheryte down here I can attune to. Fascinating. Ah, this music. Ah! The, whatchamacallit? The anti-tower. Anti-tower music. Ah! I've heard this often enough. Continue trying to go south. Anti-tower music. Ah! Oh, look, striking dummies. Alright, that seems to be as much this direction as I can go. Leave me alone, things. This area actually kind of reminds me of Skyrim. I'm just saying. This kind of has that feel to it. Got that look. "33rd facet." It's a cave. South. I see you! Alright, this way. Doesn't look like there's actually a way out this way. Alright. I almost got myself stuck, but I'm fine. Leave me alone, mushroom. North. Well, looks like I can head back up around north this way. You know what? Actually, let's try checking this way first. Very north. Oh, there's a sightseeing spot. I don't know if I can get to it yet, but it's there. Ah, we have corrigans and onions and crap and things. Tomatoes. The horror. East. Should be right around here somewhere. Southeast. Ah, down there. Whee! I can actually explore a lot more of this map than I thought I could, which is nice to know. West. Northwest. Alright, I'm thinking I am going to have to cross these bridges here, it looks like. If I'm allowed to cross. Which is always the question. Where am I allowed to go on this map this early on? Medical circuit. Luncheon toad. Well then. South. 80 Elms south. Don't know how I can get there yet. It's supposed to be very close. Don't know if I can get there yet. Alright, let's discover this little area here first. Just giving myself a little bit of a break at the same time. From all the reading. Yeah, I don't know if I can travel to that part of the place yet. This place is huge, my goodness. Ah, leave me alone. West. Well, good thing I'm going straight west. Ah, it's up there. How do I get up there? That is the real question. Ah, this way. Boop, 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 boop. The power of flight will be mine! Don't think I can head down there yet. So probably unlock that in the later half of the expansion. We'll get down there eventually, just not right now. Alright, so there are a few areas I haven't quite checked out up here yet. Southeast. Can't go there. Cannot go any further south. Leave me alone, things. The sheep are hostile? Why are the sheep hostile? Alright. Just double check. Southeast. Yeah, it will be. It'll be down there, so we can't reach it. Looking for right now. Oh, fascinating. There's a barrier around that place. Okay. Alrighty. Let's see if I can make my way back up. Check out that couple of areas that I haven't gotten to see yet. Okay, let's look in this direction. Oh, don't tell me I actually have to go up and around. Apparently I do. Hooray! Welp. Let's just travel back to this Aetherite real fast. That would be easier. Okay, let's see. First we're gonna head back down and actually go to that cave that I didn't check out. West. West? Probably inside the cave system there. Because I can't go quite that far west from what I currently have unlocked on this map. Do 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 do. Alright. Okay, yes, it's probably somewhere in this cave. Oh, west is the other direction. Derp! I derp. However, there is a sightseeing spot up here. Okay. Back we go. I think I might have found all the aether currents I can find here. Currently. Seems like most of the pops I'm doing are leading me farther than I can currently travel. Although I can try one more time, just to see. West. I did make it. Maybe not down there. Although I have unlocked down there. Oh yeah, I have been down there. Okay. I don't quite remember how to get down there. Aside from can't just fall down there. Unfortunately. Alright. Of course, there's nothing I could teleport to down there, so... we just have to take the cave system down there again. Alright, down we go. Once we exit the cave, then we'll pop again. Such a big cave. Eventually I'll go find those marmots, I promise. Alright. West. West. Yeah, we can't quite make it there, I don't think. Yep, it's still farther west, so it's somewhere in there. Okay. Back we go. Alright, now let's explore this little area to the north. Jump higher! Explore this area. Alright. That is this area explored. Back up this way, there's still that one area I have yet to explore. Back to these weirdo trolls. Oh, there's the marmots. Let's go ahead and catch it while we're here. Just because we can. Alright, it's dead. Oh, there's another one. Alright. Come on, look at the thing. Come here, you thing. Ah, don't run away from me. Stupid critter. Alright, let me go back this way so I can, again, explore the map. Ah! Suddenly side quests! I haven't even finished the quest I'm on, and suddenly it's like, here, have some side quests! Ah! If I were obsessively trying to do all the side quests as soon as they unlocked, I'd be driving myself mad again. That was my one complaint about Heavensward, was how it distributed the side quests. Just like, you do one little thing, and suddenly they all pop open. Alright. Is there anything in this direction? South? Okay, nope. I don't think I can get to it. Okay, alright. Yep, that I think is all I can do at the moment. I think I will finish this quest and then take a small break. See, no people flying, so... At the moment, no one in this instance, I think, have... reached the end and unlocked all the things, so... But soon enough, we will see practically everyone flying. Okay... Where, oh where has this marmot gone? Where, oh where could it be? There you are. That is a troll. I'm being trolled, help! Don't you dare run away from me! Ah! Stupid... Yeah! No! Get back here! I'm doing this for your own good! It's like me trying to convince my cat to take his antibiotics. It doesn't appear to be up here. Where is this? Oh, there you are. No enemies this time. I have you cornered. You're not getting away from me this time. Yes! That was one. Didn't he say there were multiples, though? That's a very sparkly dragon. Alright. Hello, Anvil. How did you fare? I tracked down 3 of the pack, which leaves 1 unaccounted for. Here, take this thing off my hands. Ah, and there's the odd marmot out. Wait here a moment while I put our friends in a holding cage. Thankfully, the marmots seem to be unharmed. They've held up well in isolation, but it's much too soon to release them into the habitat. It's a good thing we were able to recapture them so swiftly. You have my thanks. What will you do with the marmots now? That's for the Forum to decide. They are the guiding authority behind Labyrinthos, after all, and this job was but one small part of this great inventory of theirs. Suitable for consumption and easy to breed, those were the two conditions I was given for the stock I was instructed to procure. I don't know what the Forum has planned for these creatures, but at the very least, I doubt they'll be served for dinner today or tomorrow. There you are, Shallan. Is this the Gleaner you mentioned? The one who was looking for the lost marmots? Yes, it was. Interesting company you keep, friend. Who are you folk, anyway? I'm Kryl, from the students of Valdestian. These others are my associates. Truth be told, the Forum's decisions of late have not sat entirely well with us. That's why we made the descent into Labyrinthos. We hoped that by seeing those decisions put into action, we might more fully understand their reasoning. Wise and practical. Never hurts to try and gain a broader perspective, does it? Anyway, duty calls. Other animals to capture and enclosures to empty. Once again, I'm sorry that I can't offer you more for your services. It's fine. You gave me information. That's what we were looking for. Did you learn anything new from our friend here? So we've confirmed that the orders for this ambitious operation did indeed come directly from the Forum. However, the Gleaners have not been informed of its purpose. I'd say it fits with everything we've heard thus far. We've also discovered when the operation was begun. The Forum contacted the Gleaners' guild ship and put their people to this great work for some 4 days after the Telafroi made their chilling declaration. As seasoned travelers, the Gleaners keep abreast of news from every corner of the world out of necessity. Thus, I am inclined to trust that their calendar of events is accurate. Altogether, it gives the distinct impression that this undertaking was sudden and unexpected development. Yet I find it hard to believe that such a comprehensive restructuring of Labyrinthos and its archives could have been planned in so brief a window. Nay, this plan was long in the making. They were but waiting the right time to put it into effect. And the Telafroi's declaration was what set it all in motion? It seems likely, but let us not leap to conclusions just yet. For the moment, I suggest we conduct a wider investigation of Labyrinthos. The more facilities we visit, the more pieces of the puzzle we stand to find. In that case, how about we head to the Archeon? From there we can reach the lower... Kryl? Kryl? What's wrong, Kryl? I'm fine, truly. The sudden descent has left me with a bit of a headache, that's all. Nothing that will stop me from soldiering on. Let us be about it, then. Kryl, is your echo going crazy? At the very least, allow me to take the lead. I'm fairly certain I remember the way to the Archeon. We follow the path east, through the forest where you were chasing after that mouse. Or marmot, was it? Anyway, 'tis the trolls you need to watch out for. Yes, I am well aware. Whew, okay, let's go complete the quest. It's already daytime again. Whee! At least it's a relatively cloudy day. And now we have the weird music. I'm not sure how I feel about this area's music. Thankfully, it's quiet, so it doesn't seem to be shrieking in my ears. Alright, Kryl? Don't worry about me, I'm hale and healthy. In fact, I'm beginning to suspect that... Nay, let's discuss this later. The investigation demands our undivided attention. This is the foremost material archive in Sharlayan. I should love to explore its treasures shelf by shelf, but I fear we have little time for such indulgences. Were you caught in the mist on your way? The sprayers keep the air humid so the habitat feels as close as possible to a natural forest. Behold the Archeon. As Numenon serves Sharlayan's literary archive, so does this structure house the city's wealth of material data. The architecture, too, is similar. This building you see is merely the upper entrance, an access point to the vaults carved into the cliffside itself. Within those vast rooms are stored countless samples and specimens, as well as the detailed records in which describe them. Well, I can read, I promise. This is why I need a break. In a manner of speaking, the Archeon contains a physical history of Sharlayan's unwavering dedication to the accumulation of knowledge. Alright. Got that quest done. Even more side quests have popped up. Alright. I am going to take my break now. I'll be back at this. I'll do a bit more because I do want to attempt to get this section done and get ready for the first dungeon by tomorrow. So I will be back at this in just a few minutes. In the meantime, thank you all so much for watching. Never cease to be amazing, and I can type, I promise. Especially I need to do that. You can tell I'm getting tired. There we go. Thank you. Goodbye.